What's going on, guys? It's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with an explosive story. Now I'm here to tell you, ain't no sunshine when she go, baby. It's kind of backtrack some of their takes. They said they're trying to basically say, I'm sorry. Oh, you're sorry now.
My biggest problem with the media, who the fuck are you and what the fuck have you ever done? Nothing. You're nobody and you've never done anything ever. Nobody's ever depended on you for a paycheck.
I do think he's a franchise quarterback. I love his game. I've obviously been watching him for
I would love to have that. I'm not there yet, so I can't say that. We've been on the field 3 practices.
Shedeur basically would have to come from behind and...
In the last 7 days, Cleveland Browns reporters have gone viral twice. First, for a go make a sandwich comment that broke the internet. Then, for calling a 3.9 GPA sociology degree a diploma. And right in the middle of all of it, Shedeur Sanders walked across the stage at Folsom Field in a cap and gown, said, "It's called excellence." And the same reporters who've been dragging him for months are now being forced to walk their takes back. This is the full story, and the receipts are all here.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with an explosive story. Now I'm here to tell you, ain't no sunshine when she go, baby, because it looked like the Cleveland Browns media is feeling the heat in the kitchen. Yes, they starting to possibly about to apologize to Shedeur Sanders. Now, y'all remember last week when I was telling y'all, and I was basically telling y'all that the Cleveland Brown media was somewhat cyberbullying Shedeur. Like, it looked like y'all cyberbullying him a little bit. Now, granted, a lot of these guys is entitled to their opinions, but when it goes on social media, it's create dialogue, it create conversation. That's kind of cyberbullying, bro. I just got to be honest. Now, I'm here to tell you, this is my first time saying this, that there are several reporters that is starting to not just kind of backtrack some of their takes. They said they're trying to basically say, I'm sorry. Oh, you're sorry now. Oh, you're sorry now because you didn't think what you said had merit, or you didn't think Shedeur was going to see it. Now, I've been pretty vocal. I've been in this thing going on 5 long years. They see everything. I keep telling y'all, Shedeur, Deion Sanders Jr., Shiloh, Coach Prime, the whole damn family. They're going to see what you say about them. Wouldn't you? I'm just saying. So don't try to come up here now and be like, well, bro, you know, don't listen to what I be saying about you, dog. I don't mean none of the stuff I was saying about you. You know, it was just content. Because that's basically what they saying. You know, I didn't mean none of it. Y'all listen to this. Shout out to the homeboy JK who's feeding the streaks. I ain't lying, man. JK be feeding the streaks, dog. Homeboy be feeding the streaks, bro. I ain't lying. Shout out to him, man. You need to go ahead and make you a channel, JK. Boy, you kick everybody ass. I ain't lying. Now, listen to this right here, y'all.
Multiple Cleveland reporters backtracking at the same time? That's not a coincidence. That's pressure. And that pressure started building the moment Shedeur confronted his biggest critic after a dominant preseason performance. A confrontation caught on camera by his own family and posted to the internet without warning. Here's exactly what happened. Grossi called Shedeur's name. He wanted one more question. What he got instead was a confrontation that his own words had been building toward for months. Caught on camera by Deion Sanders Jr. himself. And when it hit the internet, it didn't just go viral. It broke the internet. Here's the footage directly.
Looks at social media and reads comments and reads posts and do all, that and feels compelled to answer. It's probably not the best way to handle things, because at a certain point, blank those people. Even if it's me, who cares what I have to say?
He's one of the most popular players in the National Football League, and the reason why is that he's a social media darling, so he has to respond to keep that thing going.
So he's saying that he got to respond to keep what he got going. Bro, Shedeur ain't got to respond and keep nothing going. Whether Shedeur respond or not respond, he's going to get attention because it's people like me that's going to report on what y'all saying. Just that simple. Shedeur ain't dropped a YouTube video in Hellas. You know, y'all keep saying like he got to do. He ain't got to do this, bruh. Now let's listen to them right here, bruh.
Fans. What we call them, Shedeur soldiers?
Sanders soldiers.
Sanders soldiers. Bro, all in my mentions all day yesterday. And they were in my mentions because I had to take that, hey, look, Tony Grossi said he thought Dylan Gabriel was a little bit better. Y'all, chill out. You're making this combative when there's no need to be combative.
The fact that you're only here for Shedeur.
Like
Okay.
The Browns.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In their mind of logic, we're going to, and I'm pretty sure this same group of people complain about things that don't go their way in other realms of life. You're no different than that person that you're probably in opposition to by taking those type of takes, that type of thought. It's sad. If it doesn't fit your narrative, you are the enemy. No room for civil discourse.
And I ain't been called an Oreo in years, too.
Yeah,
so that's crazy work. It's the new fans. What we call them, Shedeur soldiers?
Sanders.
Y'all see this? I told y'all, bruh. They don't really care about us, like Michael Jackson said, bruh. All I got to say is that they don't really care about us, bruh. Now, Dana White
said what a lot of people were thinking, and the ESPN Cleveland reporter admitting that Sanders soldiers flooded their mentions shows exactly how much power Shedeur's fan base actually has. But the most important admission didn't come from a fan. It came from Grossi himself on his own show the Monday after the confrontation. Grossi admitted he started it. He admitted they were laughing. He said Shedeur was outstanding. That's as close to an apology as you'll get from a 30-year Cleveland beat reporter. But here's the part nobody noticed. Months later, Grossi titled his own show Shedeur Sanders Shines. Should he be QB1? The same man. Complete 180. But Grossi wasn't the only reporter walking things back.
My goodness, listen to Dana White.
My biggest problem with the media, who the fuck are you and what the fuck have you ever done? Nothing. You're nobody and you've never done anything ever. Nobody's ever depended on you for a paycheck. Who are you to criticize anybody? These guys know nothing about this business, yet these are the people that are covering it? My biggest problem with the media?
Facts. Now, let's listen to Mary Kay.
Last week, right now, at this moment in time, he is ahead in the competition.
I would love to have that. I'm not there yet, so I can't say that. We've been on the field 3 practices.
Shedeur basically would have to come from behind and overtake him.
What I've seen after 3 days, okay, that gives us a little bit of a 40,000 foot view of where we're at.
Shedeur will get plenty of reps, I would think.
It's always changing.
You have to get your starter ready to play. You just have to.
You've got to start to target towards who's going to start opening day. And now that can still change.
Whoever wins the job is the quarterback that they feel can best get them some victories. This is not about development. I can promise you that.
We're in the development business and the winning business. And anything that gets in the way of those two things have to be confronted and eliminated.
I've watched enough of these to know how this goes.
I've learned over the years in coaching is your job is to let it play itself out.
Exactly. Now,
as I reported last,
now, will they do that? We don't know. We definitely don't know. Troy Aikman said something. Let's listen to Troy Aikman.
3 practices. 3. And Mary Kay Cabot was already declaring Watson the front runner and telling Todd Monken to name him QB1 ASAP. Troy Aikman, a Hall of Famer who knows what a franchise quarterback looks like, said the exact opposite. But the real bombshell from Mary Kay Cabot came after Shedeur went back to Colorado and did something nobody expected. 3.9 GPA, online coursework, NFL training camp, 7 starts as a rookie, and now considering a master's degree. That's who Cleveland's media has been calling a developmental quarterback. And here's where the story gets truly unbelievable. Because Mary Kay Cabot covered the graduation, And what she wrote set the internet on fire all over again. One word: diploma instead of degree. And the internet went nuclear again. This is the same reporter who was being praised just days earlier for handling Shedeur Sanders' make a sandwich comment with grace, now accused of deliberate disrespect all over again. But this time, something else was happening behind the scenes with Shiloh. Emmanuel Acho called Shiloh out publicly, but notice what he didn't do. He never said Mary Kay's reporting was accurate. He said the method was wrong. The message, that the coverage feels like an agenda, came through loud and clear anyway. And Shedeur himself had something to say to Cleveland's media long before any of this started.
I do think he's a franchise quarterback. I love his game. I've obviously been watching him for a number of years. I know his father intimately well, and wish him the best, of course, as well. So what Shedeur's been able to do has been remarkable. You know, to start first going back to when he was young before he went off to college. But, you know, success has followed him. It's not a surprise for anyone who's followed Deion's career and what he's done as a coach as well. So I'm excited for Colorado. I'm excited for Shedeur, and really looking forward to seeing what he might do at the NFL level. My expectation is that he's going to have a hell of a career. I do think he's a franchise quarterback. I love his game.
Now, this was Troy Aikman, bro, basically letting y'all know Shedeur's going to have a hell of a career. Now, why is they pushing this agenda Shedeur's not going to be a starter? I have no damn clue whatsoever. But it is what it is. Oh, damn, he talked about Shedeur. When did he talk about Shedeur? Let's listen.
Have you had a wow moment yet?
Not really. I met, Shedeur. I met Dylan. Really, I'm just excited to, get in the building and learn from all the quarterbacks. They did it at a high level. So, I'm just going to be a sponge and, take everything in and learn.
Have you had a wow moment yet?
Troy Aikman, 3 Super Bowl rings, calling Shedeur a franchise quarterback. The man drafted to replace him, saying he wants to learn from Shedeur. That's not what a replacement narrative looks like. That's what a franchise quarterback looks like. And Shedeur had one final message for every Cleveland reporter that had been running the agenda against him. Shedeur didn't yell at the media. He didn't call anyone out by name. He invited them to level up with him. 3.9 GPA, graduate degree in hand, franchise QB endorsement from Troy Aikman. The man drafted to replace him deferring to him publicly. The reporters backtracking. The question now isn't whether Shedeur belongs in Cleveland. It's whether Cleveland's media is finally ready to admit it. Here's the full timeline nobody is putting together in one place. Tony Grossi called Shedeur a developmental quarterback. Then, after a 2 TD preseason debut, admitted the confrontation, praised Shedeur as outstanding, and eventually titled his own show, Should Shedeur Be QB1? Mary Kay Cabot said Watson should be QB1 after 3 practices, then got accused of minimizing Shedeur's 3.9 GPA graduation by calling his degree a diploma. Troy Aikman says he's a franchise quarterback. The man drafted to replace him wants to learn from him. And Shedeur himself walked across Folsom Field in a cap and gown, said it's called excellence, and is now thinking about getting his master's. The only question left is this. When OTAs open on May 19th, will the Cleveland media finally give him the new vibe he asked for? Subscribe, because when those OTAs open, this channel will have every play, every practice report, and every reporter backtrack covered in real time.